Previously, inside Dark Dungeons.
Sadly, the bard didn't do so well.
Oh dear, I think that a small hit from this will help you calm down.
Destroy us all!
Don't you worry, I'm back to finish that Book of Vile Darkness review. But why?
Ugh, no blood. Man, but my hurt hurts like a mofo. Talking to yourself again? Hey, ARMR? Wait, if you're here, that means that... Neftas, give them the gift we got them. Yeah, a little gift. Just a tabletop RPG based on your favorite TV show. You know, good enough for Inside Dark Dungeons, right? This thing? Oh man, this is awesome! To hell with this book, seriously. I mean, the mechanics are by no means bad, they're decent, they're good. But the book itself is vile, just the way it's written. Let me take you through a journey, cover to cover, of my thoughts of this book, while Possumos prepares a scrying spell to see just who wrote this piece of trash. The cover is pretty darn inoffensive, just stock images of the characters of the series, nothing more. Kind of reminiscent of the intro of the show. Chapter 1 talks about what a tabletop RPG is, but trust me, if you got yourself this book, you're one of two people. Either an RPG collector or a fan of the Buffy TV series and you like tabletop role-playing games. Trust me, you are not just a fan of Buffy, just so happened to encounter this book, bought it, and just got into the world of tabletop RPG. That is ludicrous. I would never imagine somebody doing that. Besides that, this book has a tendency to call the game master a director. Get it? Cause it's supposed to be a TV show. But only pretentious tabletop role-playing games use something other than game master. World of Darkness, I'm talking about you. The book uses 10-sided dice and mentions how they are way big with the angst-ridden vampire role-playing set. Oh, get it? Because they're referencing a much successful and widely known game. Woo! The book mentions the use of multipliers with the use of d10s. So for example, a 3d10 times 4 would see you rolling 3 10-sided dice and multiplying the result by 4. Ugh, multipliers like that? That would entail using a calculator, and trust me, no tabletop RPG that requires you to use a calculator is ever fun or good. That kind of reminds me of... The chapter ends explaining the Buffyverse, detailing the cosmology, the history of the world, and how demons, vampires, and slayers came to be, and recaps season 1 through 5 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What it doesn't explain is, however, is how Buffy fits with the whole Firefly thing. You know, since the Buffyverse is basically the Whedonverse, and Firefly is part of the Whedonverse. It'd be pretty damn cool to have the cast of both shows making a crossover together. Oh, please, somebody make that happen. Oh crap, now I'm sad. Chapter 2 explains what characters are. Seriously, these guys really think you don't know what a tabletop RPG is. They really think that this book is a gateway book to get you to play role-playing games. But let me just explain and tell you some of the worst writing contained here. There's a part that says that if people start whining to the director, hand them a pacifier or ball gag them. Trust me, if you're doing that, you're not playing Buffy. You're doing something else. Then it goes to the game policers not gonna come in and stop you if you want to change the rules. Game police, what are you talking? Stop trying to be cool, game police? Really? Is that what the writing goes down to? Then it also tells you if you're gonna play a Slayer, or a lot of people are gonna play Slayers in the game, don't dress them all up as Sailor Scouts. You don't want to be Sailor Moon. Look, everybody needs to start somewhere. And Sailor Moon is a good gateway anime. So you leave Serena and her friends alone. So here's the deal. The game uses point buy. You choose between one of 3 archetypes that begin with different scores. There's the hero, the white hat, which is basically a human, run-of-the-mill human, and the experienced hero. Of course, the experienced hero being the strongest archetype with the highest scores. These archetypes don't really offer that much difference besides having different points to buy stuff, with the experienced hero having the most. However, the white hat can buy drama points for a lot cheaper, but it's a point buy system. And as we all know, point buy systems are really easy to break. That is, of course, if the game master or director in this case house rules some limits, but the game doesn't give you any proper limits. Qualities grant characters certain advantages, like being a vampire with a soul, or being a slayer, while drawbacks give you, well, drawbacks, like being sickly in love and being a werewolf that can't control his transformation. Drawbacks give you quality points to buy more qualities. Now be advised, limiting drawbacks and advantages is something that I really recommend in this game, because you might end up with weird things like the vampire werewolf, or the vampire slayer, or the robot werewolf, or heavens forbid, the robot werewolf vampire slayer. Balance, it is not this game's strong point. Skills are broad, to the point that the Get Medieval skill is used for all melee weapons, while the Gun Fu skill is used for all types of modern ballistic weaponry. Broad skills like these can really streamline a game though. This chapter ends with detailed description of all the Buffy characters as well as their stats, just in case you want to use them as NPCs or if a player wants to use them as well. Also some pre-generated characters that have their own backstories, just in case you as well want to use them as NPCs or a player wants to use them. Complete with some of the worst drawings I have ever seen in a role-playing book. Chapter 3 details the basic rules of the game. The director determines what attributes and skills to use when a player wants to attempt something. Usually they only roll one 10-sided die and add their relevant attributes. On a roll of 9 or higher, the action was successful. Wait, it's as simple as that? Wait, so what's the point of mentioning multipliers at the beginning of the book? This game doesn't even use them. It's a waste of ink. It's a waste of my time. You make me look like a fool, you damn book. What's an episode of Buffy without a spoopy, scary monster or situation? A boring episode, like the one where Buffy begins to drink beer. And of course, this game has its own set of fear rules, even going as far as adding mechanics to make recurring spoopy things less spoopy. Combat, however, can get a bit annoying, specifically because initiative is a myth, it's a legend, it's a variant rule. See, the game master is supposed to determine who goes first depending on the scene and how everybody is at the start of combat. And then you have to describe what you do to the game master before you do it. Again, it mentions initiative as a variant rule, but when have you ever met a game master that doesn't use his whimsy whenever he wants? So that means that if I feel like the vampire caught you by surprise, the vampire caught you by surprise and attacks you first. If you're an anti-player game master, I don't want to play this under you. Yeah, there's a part in this chapter titled Slayage in Bondage. Now, bearing the allusion to BDSM, the book does actually give detailed rules for being bound and how to fight while bound, as many of the Buffy characters have done. Then in page 111 details growing shots, stating you can even use headbutts to do it. The book says, you do what you gotta do sometimes, huh? That's a blowjob joke! How far into the gutter you have fallen, book? A blowjob joke? You gotta do what you gotta do, huh? That is disturbing. This is supposed to be for teenagers. Teenagers don't have blowjobs. Ever. Look, the book also likes to give examples to a lot of these things all the time, and that's where the writing gets the worst. I don't like puns, alright? And every single example starts with an example-based pun. And if I had to read this whole book and suffer through all of it, you're hearing all those puns as well. Of course, it begins with example. Example me. Exampleville. Definitely example time. Example me, baby. Why is this so bad? Example away. Example twice. Example thrice. Example this. For instance, huh? Oh wait, there's actually an example that is not an example-based pun. Oh, you look at that. Examples are us. Deluxe example. Exemplis totalis. Pointed example. So many puns. Why am I even hugging you? If a player is killed during combat, the game guarantees them a couple of dying words and final actions. You know, just like in those climaxes in actual TV shows. Now, one of the most important mechanics in this book is the drama points. These are your bread and butter if you ever need to re-roll or give yourself a bonus. However, these babies can do a lot more. They can even cause a plot twist. Like, for example, you were looking for an ancient ritual, but you just couldn't find it. You spend a drama point and it was mysteriously placed inside your pocket. Those things can even be used to resurrect a character if your character was killed during the game. Well, it sure would have been nice to have one of those when you killed me. No, Kaifel, please don't be like that. I know you might be undead, but at the very least you still have your spot as my go-to bard. Whoop-de-freaking-do! You know I'm just gonna attack you at the end of the episode, right? Excuse me? Oh, you know how it is. You reviewer types always dressing up as different characters attacking yourselves. That's what you're doing, right? Yeah. And I've also seen that some other critics actually have people helping them out. Do we have to do these type of skits? Well, you just don't have a random white chick lying around or a token black guy friend now, do you? And yes, you have to do these skits with me because I will kill you! Oh, fine. We'll fight at the end of the episode, whatever, I'll see you there. Let me just finish this. This chapter ends just basically detailing how to use your experience points to level up your attribute skills and bind drama points. Chapter 4 details how magic works. It even gives a step-by-step process in how to create your own spells. Not much like in Buffy, spells in this game are very restricted. You need reagents, you need rituals, you might need time. You're just not gonna create a lightning bolt, throw it at people, and call it a day. Sadly, the puns are not over yet. See, this chapter has a part where it says, "Wanna blessed bees." For people that wanna try researching magic in regular libraries. Wanna blessed bees. Get it? Because blessed bee. If you don't get that joke, it's not a joke. If you don't get the pun, good for you. If you want to understand it, Google it. I'm not gonna explain it. It's stupid, it's contrived, and I hate the person that wrote this book. Chapter 5, Sunnydale After Dark, details the city of Sunnydale, places of interest, and its people. This chapter even stats out all of the side characters in the Buffy universe, including Buffy's mom and Principal Snyder. So, if, I don't know, maybe you always wanted to drive a sword through Snyder's chest and kill that guy? I didn't like him that much. Or you're one of those really weird players that like to kill people and you want to off Buffy's mom for some reason. You could play villains in this book. There's nothing against it. You could totally play vampire and regular werewolves and start killing slayers. Actually, I think that would be really cool. You could just, go on a killing spree and kill everybody in Sunnydale. What's with the weird look? It's a Whedon show. Josh Whedon made this. Something like that could totally happen. Remember that episode where Cordelia went to that world where Buffy never went to Sunnydale? Yeah, you can totally play that. Really effed up. Creatures of the Night gives us information on various bad guys, monsters to kill, and how to play them. If you're the director, of course. It details vampires, werewolves, robots, the major bad guys from season 1 through 5 of Buffy, and demons. Though, it has the goal to call demons a cowardly and suspicious lot. How dare you reference Batman? Do you think you are up to Batman standards? Not even John Miller you get to his standards. This is why I don't like this book. It's like the book is self-aware. It's like it's a 40-year-old man trying to be hip and cool. But it's just icky and unfunny. Chapter 7 gives directors directions on how to run games, dividing them into episodes and seasons. The idea is, of course, to run something similar to the Buffy series. The final chapter, titled Sweeps Week, explains a pre-made episode and how to run it. Surprisingly enough, it contains good pictures. The book ends with the appendix, in which we find some of the lingo of the Scooby Gang, and teaches you how to speak like the characters from Buffy. Would you really study the appendix to learn how to speak like these people? It's 2016. Do you really want to talk like people in the late 90s? I don't know, man. It's just... Okay. I heard that Possimals finally find out who wrote this. And I want to find out who it was. Because person that wrote this, I think you were going to a midlife crisis when you wrote this. And I want to let you know, you are enough of a person right now. Forget about the past. Live in the now. Don't try chasing off teenage ghosts. Know what I mean? It's fine what you have done with your life. If anything, you publish a book. Just don't try to be cool and hip. Let's see the clip.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Huh. And for some reason, I am not surprised at all. That's it for this Inside Dark Dungeons. Join us next time for... But wait! What about our fight scene? No, dude, seriously, I am tired. It's 1 a.m. and I'm still writing this damn script. Maybe after I have a good night's rest, I'll go back and add the scene of us fighting. But right now, it's been a long day, it's been a long week, and I can't be bothered to do this. So, let me nap, let me rest, and I'll let you know. If anything, be glad with the stinger at the end that you get at this episode. That was a really weird non sequitur. But that's fine, I'll take it. You just gotta stop writing scripts so late, dude. What? My ear, I'm decaying. Tell me about it. I don't even remember writing any of this. Well, until next time you find yourself inside Dark Dungeons, adventurer, remember, always keep your stake handy at all times. Avoid parks and graveyards late at night. But most of all, beware the sacrilege.
Whatever may happen, you'll know that I'll always be the friend you can turn to when cold winds blow. And then you'll know that now and forever we're friends in this world.
Arr, arr.